Hello everybody, this is Lucas, aka the Frost Zealot, and today I'm just going to make a quick video, hopefully the start of more regular uploads. Life has been busy, because life is like that. Tomorrow there is a ban and restriction announcement for Modern, which happens to be my favorite Magic the Gathering format, as in the only one I really play. Without further ado, I have under here the top 5 cards I've seen most discussed to be unbanned, and the top 5 cards I've seen most discussed to be banned. I will get into this, starting with what people think should be unbanned. Yeah, I know that's a pretty dumb list, but it's true. People want Deathrite Shaman unbanned. And because, I don't know, Jund isn't really a thing right now, so they think maybe the format can handle it. It can't. Deathrite Shaman is basically a one-mana planeswalker. That's one of the dumber ideas they could have. Apart from 3 of the other 4 members of this list. Bloodbraid's the only one that isn't quite as stupid. Still stupid. Stoneforge. Control is in a really good place right now. It's tier 1. It's very playable. It's very powerful. I was gonna say it's fair. It's not really fair. But you can play around it. Okay. Stoneforge would just drive it over the top. Too much value. It's 4 mana. You get an equipment, and then you can just put equipment into play. Too much value. Bloodbraid. Again, too much value. I would say if they do intend on unbanning anything, Bloodbraid would probably be the way to go. But my prediction would be if they did that, it would just get banned again really quickly. So, not a good idea. Jace the Mind Sculptor. I cannot explain enough why unbanning that would be a horrible idea. I've seen it win games all on its own, the person having no cards in hand, top decking this, and then winning the game because of it. No, just no. I can see why people would think they might be unbanning it, because they're reprinting it, but no, do not unban this. Horrible idea. Splinter Twin. Why? Splinter Twin. Too good. Turn 4 kills. In control colors. I'd facepalm, but that'd be basically slapping the camera. On to the other cards. Top 5 cards that are most discussed to be banned in Modern. Right now. At number 5, I'll just take the paper away. Number 5, we have Karn Liberated. Tron is in an extremely good place right now. Extremely good. Except if you're playing against it. Karn Liberated is basically a panic button for the deck that allows them to just win the game when they had no business winning the game, but then they top deck Karn or turn 3 Karn and just lock their opponent out of the game. I would say, you can play around it, which is the case with a lot of things like that, except unless you're playing counter Magic, you can't really play around Karn, and they run Karn as a 4-of. So banning Karn would definitely put Tron on the road to becoming a fair deck. This one's my personal opinion. I don't think leylines should be banned. I think they should be restricted. If only because they promote an extremely unhealthy playstyle of basically mulling to leyline, which that's not even playing the game. Whereas I've seen people, the people who mull to leyline and the people who run 4 leylines, because they know they can get to it. Even 3 leylines, it's like, okay, I can mull a couple times to see if I can get a leyline. But if you have 2 leylines, you're less likely to just mull for it, and more likely to actually play the game. I think Sanctity and Void are the ones that deserve that the most, but I'd be okay with just clean sweep, all leylines restricted across the board. Number 3, Aether Vial. Again, this is a card that promotes an unhealthy playstyle. And this is just coming from people I've seen in forums or at LGSs, well, at the one LGS local to me, who play tribal decks like merfolk or elves or allies, that's these play locally, and they play Aether Vial. And it makes them overconfident in their hand. They will keep a one-land hand with an Aether Vial thinking, oh, I can just rely on my Vial. But then if they have trouble, like if they run into land trouble, and their Aether Vial gets destroyed, they're screwed because they made a bad decision, because Aether Vial made them overconfident. Again, easy to play around, easy to counter, maybe not 100% deserving of a ban, just affects the players. There's negatively. Pass and Flame Scrape Shot. This is because Storm, and these are the two things that people discuss the most when they say, oh, we need to ban something from Storm. I don't think so. If you look at recent top 8 and just competitive results across the board, Storm hasn't been doing as well. The people who play Storm at my LGS, they haven't been doing as well with it either. Storm placed 9th out of 10 people on Friday. Well, I would think Storm is in a pretty good place. And just like with people saying, oh, you need to ban the Tron lands. No, you don't need to ban the Tron lands, because then you ruin the archetype. You want to preserve as many archetypes as you can to keep it modern, a rich and varied format. You just want to get rid of the cards that make it overpowered. So Grape Shot, I would say no, do not ban Grape Shot. Would ruin the deck. Or would turn it into Empty the Warrens forever. Past in Flames, that would just bring back Ascension Storm. Which, I mean, I'd be okay with that, because then 4 pieces of puzzle main board, that's insane. But, I don't know. Doesn't really hit me. Doesn't really seem to be too big of a problem. I mean, Scavenging Ooze is a thing in the format, and that allows you to play through Storm pretty easily. I didn't include Gifts and Given here, just because banning Gifts and Given wouldn't do much to Storm. Well, it would do a bit to Storm. Definitely slow it down. But overall, the deck would adapt. However, there's things like Gifts Reanimator, or just 4-color Gifts, or things like that, that just, they would not run without that card, and they're very cool decks to see go off. So I would say, hey, if you're going to ban anything, ban Past in Flames. Storm will still be a thing. And it's like, if people are like, oh, I don't want Storm to be a thing, I can't help you. Chalice of the Void. Card is oppressive. It should not have been printed in the first place. It should be banned. Without a doubt, this is the #1 card that I have seen be hated on at my LGS, online, just in general, that isn't already banned. The only people I've seen not complain about Chalice of the Void are Eldrazi Tron players with a Chalice on 0, 1, and 2, or a Chalice on 1, 2, and 3 on the battlefield, who are basically just sitting there playing the game while their opponent does nothing but draw, land, go. Chalice is basically self-resistant against artifact hate, and not a ton of decks play counters. And then, okay, you play Solemnity. This is already out and active by the time you get Solemnity down. And then they can probably just remove the Solemnity, so I'm not going to go that far. No one really plays Enchantment Hate. Yes, long story short, Chalice the Void just needs to be banned. Out of the cards in the format right now, I would say Chalice the Void is most likely to just warp the format into an oppressive and unhealthy environment, which is something I really don't want to see happen. Anyway, that's all I've got for this. If anyone has any thoughts they would like to share, then leave them in the comments below. If anyone says that they do think Splinter Twin should be unbanned, I will be taking that as comedic sarcasm. Or just sarcasm. I don't have an outro, so bye.